Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Magicshine HORI 700 daytime running headlight. The Magicshine HORI series has focused on headlights with dual sandwich design that can fit between a GPS mount and the GPS computer for a very clean look. We have the latest model here, the HORI 700, which is the thinnest and most compact variation in the whole lineup. Packaging wise, you have the standard orange and black color scheme, nice cardboard box with an illustration of the light, the main specs on the front, and then the lumen and runtime printed on the back side. I'll go ahead and open this up. We'll go over the full specs. Retail price on this is about $46, so fairly affordable. You have 700 lumen of output, which is pretty impressive, and a Garmin quarter turn mount, both on the bottom and the top. You have a fairly large battery too, a 2200 milliamp battery for up to 22.5 hours of runtime. It also is USB Type-C rechargeable with a 4 LED lens for a nice wide beam. And again, they really do a good job with packaging. No plastic. It's all just cardboard with these little holders that hold all the accessories. And with this one, you don't get too much. You can see the light itself with the 4 LED design. Gives you a nice wide beam. The Garmin mount's pre-installed. And then you just get a USB Type-C charging cable and then the instruction manual. Now let's take a look at the weight of the light. So the light with the pre-installed mount is only 90 grams. Visually, the HORI 700 inherits the same rectangular shape with rounded back design that we've seen with the other HORI lights. It's just a lot smaller. So it only has 700 lumens compared to the brighter ones and has 4 small LEDs rather than having the aspherical, more complex lens. So you can see dimension-wise, it's quite a bit smaller, 57.2 by 54.2 by 31.9 millimeters, or 2¼ inches by 2.1 by 1.25. So definitely a lot more small, and it'll actually hide better between your mount and your computer. Pretty simple design too. It's a hard plastic design. Magicshine branding on here. You have HORI 700 printed on the side, a single power button with illuminated light behind it, and on the other side you have a matching rubber cover for the USB Type-C charging port. They've also integrated this little hood into the body to prevent glare, so when you're actually at a saddle, you kind of get a look at the lens from the top, so that it helps prevent any potential glare if you don't have a computer above it. And then you can see the same round design on the back side, and a male Garmin adapter on the bottom and a female on top, so you can put it between your mount and the computer. So it's a really cool way to mount it. So you can see they don't include the mount. The assumption is you already have one. So if you see an out front mount like we have here, typically you have a daytime or nighttime light, the brighter lupine one. And with this one, you can get daytime visibility and a little bit of nighttime visibility. To show the mounting, you would actually just take off your computer, and then you can see it's very easy to orient this. The text has to point upward, and then the hood on top. Simply lock it in place with the Garmin mount. Then you take your computer and then lock it in place. You can see nice and stiff. So it's a pretty sleek design, not as big as your big headlight. And then if you're running during the day, you can actually just remove this and you can run it with just a daytime light and your computer. But definitely a cool setup, and it's exciting to see a smaller version compared to the larger HORI models, which can be an inch thick or even more than this. So this one, it's a little bit thinner. It's also very easy to install and remove. You just quarter turn on both, and then you can take it off if you don't want it. And it's also both daytime and nighttime visible. Not something you want to do high-speed nighttime riding with, but it has 4 LEDs, and they're actually turned downward 10 degrees. So you can see if you put this sideways, it's actually pre-tilted so you can keep your mount horizontal, and then they'll have less glare, but you still have glare because these are a simple LED design, definitely not as advanced as the other models. But it works well with this one and creates a nice wide beam again, which is good for daytime visibility with their really bright daytime flash modes. So it ensures you're always visible. And then you have nice nighttime visibility for commuting or urban riding with the wider beam. The user interface on the light is really simple. Single button with a backlight, so you can see it's either green, orange, or red, depending on the battery status. So you get more granularity than just a low indicator. Holding the button turns it on and off. And then there's also a lockout mode. So if you hold the button while it's off, you can put it in transportation mode, and this is how I usually receive it. So flash and red light. If you hold it for about 5 seconds, again, it should turn green. And the problem with this button is you can't really actually see the color when you're using it. So you just have to kind of count. And then again, just do a short hold to turn on and off. It actually has 5 different modes to choose from. You can see you have high, medium, low. And then they've separated the flash modes. So a double tap will access the flash modes. And that's nice. It's actually a 2-level menu. You have daytime flash mode. You can see just the outer LEDs. If I click again, now we have nighttime flash mode, which retains the outer LEDs, so you're not completely going from light to dark. You're going from low to high type setting. And you can see I'll just highlight the middle versus the daytime one, which is on off. It's not an erratic flash, just a standard on off, but you can see it looks pretty cool. And with the multi-LED design, it has a unique appearance and side visibility thanks to the little edge on the lens. Here you can see the output modes of the lights. There are a couple of constant modes. You have low with 100 lumen, 12-hour runtime, 300 lumen medium mode, and then the full 700 lumen in the high mode with 3.5-hour runtime. The beam is nice and wide too, so it lights up the road. There's 2 flash modes, day flash, which flashes the outer 2 LEDs. Then night flash flashes the inner 2 and holds the outer ones on. You can see during daytime you do have visibility, but it's not as bright as some other lights on the market. It would have been nice to see a more erratic flash pattern rather than just on off. With 4 LEDs, they could have done some cool animations or more erratic patterns. For nighttime riding, it's actually bright enough to ride with. You'll want to stick with medium or higher, as 100 lumens is quite dim, but at full 700 lumens, it's pretty bright. And although the beam isn't that fancy, it's just standard LEDs, you don't have the sharp beam cutoff like the higher end HORI models. It does work well, lights up the road, and again, it's bright enough for faster riding and has long runtime as well. Now, I've actually done quite a reviews of the Magicshine lights, so we actually have the HORI 1300 on hand, and you can kind of see it side by side. This one has a really cool purple color. Same form factor, but you can see it's simply a lot smaller because it has less output. With the other HORI models, you can see you have an aspherical lens, and with the other model, they even have DRLs instead of the dual lens. So you definitely sacrifice some of the visibility. You don't get that nice sharp beam cutoff like you get with the other models. But on the other side of that, you get a more compact shape that looks a lot better sandwiched between your computer, while something like this is quite a bit bigger. So you can definitely see the size comparison. This style light has actually been done quite a bit. The fabric Lumere was one of the first, but they seem to have sort of disappeared. And then Ravemen kind of took over. So they have the FR 160, which is their smallest model with a cob LED ring. And the cool thing about this one, it's not really nighttime visible, but it has this wraparound design that looks really cool and is visible from higher angles than just the little cutout on the lenses. And this will actually illuminate your handlebars too, because you have light all the way on the side. A lot thinner, a little bit wider, but the bad thing about the 160 was it just didn't have enough illumination for nighttime riding. And they kind of fixed that with the brighter models. They have the 1100 and they have the 500. They actually look almost identical. And they have 2 LEDs with a similar wraparound design, but quite a bit more output. And you can tell the difference between them with the size of the bottom. So this is 1100, while this one's a 500. So even if we just compare the 500, it's quite similar. Bigger though in all the other dimensions to get the higher output. So it has a little bit more runtime. You can use this as a power bank, while the HORI 1700 is a little bit smaller. But if we put them really side by side, similar thickness, it's just a little bit more compact in some other dimensions. COOSPO also had a version, but it's more of that, again, cob LED design. And they have a little plastic cover for the other adapter, which is a little bit weird for just having it kind of built in. But it is nice to have it a little thinner, but you just don't have the additional functionality or visibility that you get with the HORI 1700. What we like about the light is it has a compact form factor, so it sits nicely underneath your computer and on top of your out front mount. You also have a wide beam with that multi-LED configuration with pretty good illumination, so even during the night, you have good visibility. It also has side visibility with a little cutout and a multi-level battery status indicator, so you always know the battery status. The main negatives are the fact it does have a fixed beam angle, designed to be dipped down from the factory, but you might have to adjust your out front mount. Also, there's no additional adapters for Wahoo or Brighton, and it lacks a true daytime flash mode, just as a standard on-off. It would have been nice to see a more erratic one to get more visibility during the day. Taking everything into account would give the light a 9 out of 10. It's a thinner and sleeker Hori that's nice to see in the lineup. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at sweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at The Sweet Cyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.